It's the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here, joined by the good stuff, Nathaniel Lundy. 'Tis indeed another Monday edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. We got an interdivisional showdown. There's been some controversy behind the scenes there in Jersey with the New York Jets, but the shakeup in the coaching staff, what will that mean in the Battle of the Empire State taking on the Buffalo Bills? Well, let's go ahead and hop aboard the honk plus bus. Lundy, we got a smorgasbord of sports betting action, the NHL going on, NBA preseason. I know you're an enormous fan of that. Major League Baseball postseason, Monday Night Football. What you got for me at plus 100 or greater odds, mi amigo?
It helps if I unmute my microphone.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Let's go to the Bronx, Brad, shall we? And look, I understand that the Honorable Aaron Judge has looked not so honorable so far, especially in that American League Divisional Series. But, folks, look at this number. Look at the number. Plus 340. For Aaron Judge to go yard here in game one of the American League Championship Series as they take on the Guardians. This is one of those, like, first of all, I mean, I'll play the HD bet all day long. He's due, right? But at the same time, this number in the regular season, even towards the tail end of the regular season, going into the playoffs, this is a number that would be closer to 200, okay? Maybe 220, not plus 340. And it's because of the fact that he hasn't been able to do squat lately. So I understand recency bias is baked into this, but I cannot give up on the opportunity to have a plus 340 home run tonight for Aaron Judge. It's also expected that the wind is going to be blowing out to right field. Oh, that shouldn't hurt. And he's going up against Alex Cobb. Yes, he's only 3 for 12 lifetime against him, but one of those 3 is, in fact, a round tripper. So put it all together. I think that Aaron Judge finally gets off the schneid and gets himself a home run tonight. And right now, even if he doesn't do it tonight, I say if they're going to continue to give us odds at 300 or better, I've got to keep trying to hit this one until he decides to hit one.
All rise with Aaron Judge. I love that. Plus 340 is insane in the membrane. Never see juice like that. Tied to a generational power hitter. Let's go to Monday Night Football. You got some more plus money on the board. And let's do it with the Lizard King. And please apply the stickum. Dip your hands in honey. Maybe, coat on double-sided tape on the gloves. Something, man, because you're leading the league in drops. So I'm going to be sweating this sucker out and probably shouting expletives at the television if he does cough one up. But Alan Lazard over 3.5 receptions at a plus 130 juice is an extraordinary value there at BetMGM. Why? Well, you look what he has done this season. He's done in 3 of 5 games, seen a very healthy 6.8 targets per contest. The catchable target percentage, interestingly, north of 80% this year. But, the relationship, the established rapport that he has with Aaron Rodgers, who's basically player manager there on offense in New York with Robert Saleh out of the mix, and, of course, the OC shakeup. But I think Lazard is going to get his number called early and fairly often in this one. It's just going to come down to whether I can secure the damn passes. You look at the Buffalo Bills. They've been outstanding on the bookends in coverage with Rasul Douglas and Christian Benford. But in the slot, that's where you can take advantage of them. Jamarcus Ingram has given up a 66.7% catch rate on inside coverage. You look at Greg Dortch, slot guy, 6 catches. Christian Kirk, slot guy, 8 catches. Stephon Diggs, slot guy, 6 catches. All we need is 4 from Al Lazard, who lines up in the slot 42.5% of the time. He's number 33 in total route wins. And we're cashing in on that over 3.5 catches at a plus 130 juice there at BetMGM. With those bets on the board, let's get after it on this Manic Monday with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
Numero 5 here on the countdown. Let's work in a kicker prop. Yes, they are people too. And I'm going to take the over on 1.5 field goals made from the Super Bassomatic 76. That is Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. A little bit heavier juice there at a -120 at BetMGM, but I feel pretty confident this sucker is going to cash. What's interesting about Bass, he's not been complete ass, to say the least, in terms of putting the ball through the uprights. He has done this in 3 of 5 games. He is 8 for 10. That's 80%. Simple math there. Field goal attempts to field goals made this season. He has launched at least 2 field goal attempts in every single game this year. You look at the New York Jets. They've really tightened the screws defensively. I mean, they got just run roughshod over by Jordan Mason on the ground in week numero 1, but since then they've been outstanding, really pretty much across the board. Number 5 on the season in EPA per play defense. So I think there's going to be some dry bog down opportunities. Bass going to trot in, and he's going to get a couple of those boot opportunities. Hopefully it's not going to go wide left or right or fall short of the uprights, but I feel pretty good he's going to cash in on this. The Jets have allowed only 2 kickers to kick 2 or more field goals, but they have given up 12 for 13 field goals made to field goals attempted this year. So Tyler Bass cast a line on the over 1.5 field goals made, -120 there at BetMGM. Numero 5 today on the countdown. Lundy, fade or follow.
Kickers are people too. Like you said, well, Will Lutz screwed me out of this one yesterday, but the Broncos screwed me out of a lot of things yesterday. So, God, that was awful. But I'm liking the lineup here for Will Lutz, the attempts that he's had, the pattern. You follow all of it. I think you may see some drives stall out. We know that he can kick it from a decent distance as well, which means always a good thing. You got a wider opportunity for the head coach to decide to go for the 3. I'm putting all that together, and I will say, yes, sir. Follow along, -120. Good number.
Bass. Tasty.
Number 4.
Numero 4 here on the Fade at 5 countdown. Let's go with the main man and the mega superstar really in this game. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers, it's not you. Does that hurt your ego? It should. And it should be bruised because your team is playing lousy football right now. But it's a brand new day with the shakeup there in the coaching staff. But we know one of the consistencies of Josh Allen is run of the football. Give me the over on 32.5 rush yards at a -115 juice there at BetMGM. Why I'm digging in on this, the Jets are a high-pressure defense. They are top 10 in pocket pressure rate on this young NFL season, dialing up the heat on 29.9% of opponent dropbacks. Now, you look, only one quarterback has done this year. It was Will Levis. Will Levis tucked and ran for 38 yards. So he, Kosa passes relative ease. I think Josh Allen will be unencumbered on the ground in this one. He's averaging 5.2 attempts per game. He is cashy over on 32.5 rush yards in 3 of 5 contests. Last year, at a pair of games against the Jets, went over in 1, went under in 1. But I think this is going to be like a 7-8 rush attempt kind of game because of the pressure that he is going to feel. A lot of opportunistic and unscripted runs in his future. And, if they get inside the red zone, that's a dude that usually lines up in shotgun so we can get a running start, and he'll take off probably once or twice to try to reach the goal line. So give me the over, numero 4, the Fade 5 countdown on 32.5 rush yards for Josh Allen, -115 at BetMGM. Lundy, fade or follow?
I will follow on this one as well because I think this team has realized that maybe they need their quarterback's legs a little more than they think they do. Plus, we're going to come back to the pride of Laramie in bonus time. We're gonna work little Josh Allen in on an SGP. Stick around for that one.
Ooh, a tease. I love it when you tease me, Lundy.
Number 3.
Numero 3 here on the Fade 5 countdown. I cue the minute work there in the background. We're going to live in the land down under what seems like a soft line for Dalton Kincaid, but I think it's too high at 39.5 receiving yards at a -115 juice there at BetMGM. We'll see if Khalil Shakir is going to be on the field. And obviously that could sway this a little bit in terms of the overall volume and target load for him. But, I mean, you look at the various particulars here, it doesn't support Kincaid at all. Isaiah Oliver is the primary slot DB. for the opposition, and he's only given up an 88.9 passer rating. In fact, the New York Jets have allowed the fifth fewest tight end yards this season, allowing just 25.6 yards per game. George Kittle is the only plus-size target to go over 39.5, and he did it by a half a yard. He had exactly. I was drinking some Molten liquor in that game, but, I don't think Kincaid is going to be gripping St. Ides at all. Because you look at what he has done this season, has been under 39.5 yards in 3 of 5 games, only averaging 4.8 targets per game, only number 23 among all tight ends at catchable target rate, number 19 in average yards of separation per target, number 14 in yards per run, and number 17 in yards per reception. He's just been so vanilla, so mundane, so mediocre. I think it's going to be more of the same. I think he's going to finish right around 30, but 40. Hard pass. That's why we're living in the land down under with the minute work on Dalton Kincaid. 39.5 receiving yards, minus 115 at BetMGM. Numo Trace on the countdown. Good, sir. Fade or follow.
I wish that they altered this at under 35.5. God, that'd be fun, because I would totally take the plus odds on that. But unfortunately, you can only do it in the even numbers. You got to bring it all the way down to 30. If you think he if you think he stays under 30.5, it's plus 145 at DK. But I do think he's going to be down right around the 30 number. A couple of the projections that I've gone out, looked at, the different game simulations that have been done, have him right at like 30, 31. I think that's a much smarter number. So the fact that this is all the way up at 39.5, I just don't see it happening for Kincaid unless he breaks one.
Hey, you want some additional action? Go right now to the GamingJuice.com, you jackwagons. It's absolutely free. Yeah, don't pay a single cent. We got some smorgasbord of sports betting content really across all the various sports that are out there. Lundy has got his content living there, along with Brandon Velasquez. They're both covering the NHL. Ben Wittenstein is covering not only college football, but he just revealed some team previews in the NBA on the Phoenix Suns and the Detroit Pistons. You can read that for free. Nate Jacobson is cranking out all kinds of college stuff every single week, and all of my NFL stuff, fantasy football, sports betting, lives at thegamingjuice.com. Already got my week 7 fantasy football positional ranks live right now. And again, you don't pay a penny. So go to thegamingjuice.com, click converse in cash, ... maybe.
Number 2.
All right, numero dos here on the Fade 5 countdown. Let's get a race 2, because these are thoroughly exciting in my book. I love to sweat. I love to get angry. I love to wad up things and throw at my television. But I think Breece Hall, a little dance hall days, we kicked that in the background right there, a little Wang Chung from the 1980s. I think he's going to be the first running back to reach 20 yards on the ground. That's what the race to 20 rush yards is, plus 175. They're at DraftKings if he can indeed do this. Or you look at the weakness of the Buffalo Bills. Their strength is clear on the back end defensively. They've been outstanding in coverage. The vulnerability through the air is over the middle of the field. That's why I like the over on some of the underneath routes there for Allen Lazard to cash in on his catches. But you look at Breece Hall, should be able to do some damage. The Bills, number 22 in rush EPA defense, allowing 4.72 yards per carry, 108.6 rush yards per game just to the running back position. He's been decent in yak per attempt. Not life-changing, 2.98. Number 30 in the NFL there. Only 4.7 missed tackles on a 65 rush attempts. And Braelon Allen, honestly, on a per-touch basis, has been more efficient and has provided more pop and power than Breece Hall. But he's going to get the first crack at this. The Jets, number 13 in rush EPA offense. And a team, too, that has really bottled up the run in their own right. Remember, since week 1, they got gashed by Jordan Mason, but since then they've been a top 10 rush EPA unit defensively. So if you want to bank on James Cook to get there, I would pump the brakes on that. So Breece Hall, race to 20 rush yards. You watch, it'll be like Aaron Rodgers on a stupid sprint out. He's gonna be like a limping, dragging a wheel behind him, but somehow get there. But I think Breece Hall will be the first to reach 2-0 in this one, plus 175 at DraftKings. Lundy, you want to sweat with me? Fade or follow?
Well, no, I have absolutely no interest in doing involved sweating with you. We're gonna skip that one and just let it go. So this is one, because of the way this game is, because of Josh Allen's legs, all of that. This is one that I probably would shy away from. But if I were going to pick somebody, I'd go with Breece Hall. How's that? Is that? I mean, that's kind of like a Fadalo.
Yeah, Fadalo. Way to half-ass it, Lundy. But hey, a vote is a vote. I'll take it.
Number 1.
Numero uno here on the Fade 5 countdown. I could have guessed it. I got a little mini man crush on this guy, and I have him in every single fantasy league around. Braelon Allen. Now, truth be told, I grabbed this on the always free, always transparent, always public spreadsheet at thegamingjuice.com. Just click free picks at the top of the page, and you can access that bad boy. Those are my real bets. And I grabbed this earlier the week at 30.5. It's up 2 yards, and I'd still play the over on 32.5 rush yards for Braelon Allen and a -115 juice there at BetMGM. And you know what? Let's say hello to my little friend. You want a sledgehammer special? I give it to you, folks. And that's how confident I am in this one. He has done this in 3 of 5 games. He's seeing close to 31% of the team's opportunity share, and he has been more efficient on a per-touch basis than his tag team partner, Breece Hall, number 11 in YAC per attempt at 3.44. And again, as I mentioned, the Bills, if they're exploitable, it is on the ground, in the trenches, and right up the middle oftentimes. And that's the strength of Braelon Allen. 22 in rush EPA defense, as I said before, 4.72 yards per carry, 108.6 rush yards per game. 5 guys, 5, mi amigos, have hit the over on this. And Braelon Allen with that break tackle ability, he can't even drink legally. He's only 20 years old, and behind a top 10 offensive line, I think he's going to truck his way to at least 33 rush yards. If you want to play this in the alt market at like 40 at DraftKings and get it plus money, I would support that as well. So to recap, numero uno on the Fade 5 countdown today, Braelon Allen over 32.5 rush yards, -115 at BetMGM. Lundy, better follow.
This correlates into Josh Allen. Remember how we're all hot and bothered because I gave you a tease? Remember that just a minute ago? Yeah. So we're doing the same thing. So I'm following you on this because it plays into my SGP.
So that is a lead-in from Mr. Tease, and that's what Lundy does really well because he's worked in radio forever.
Pity the fool.
It's bonus time, Lundy. You got to go for the payoff. Give it to the people.
All right, let's do it. Let's give it to the folks here. SGP built over at BetMGM. This one actually pretty simple. Give me the Jets plus 8.5. Just keep it close, man. Give me the Jets plus 8.5. Give me the under on 51.5. Under on 51.5. And then give me the Allens to each have 25 or more rushing yards. Braelon and Josh.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Braelon, 25. Josh, 25. Jets plus 8.5. Under on 51.5. Why? Because it's a primetime game, folks. It's just what happens in these damn primetime games. Put all of that together by itself at BetMGM. That is a +2 Bills, folks. Plus 200. But they have a nice little boost on there for today as well. So that took it up to plus 266.
Oh, goodness, you dirty dog.
So as long as we don't see some sort of crazy scoring output, which I don't think we will in this game, that's my fingers crossed aspect of it. I think the Jets can keep this close. There's plenty of people that are taking the Jets with the points. And I'm not, just doing it straight there, but I am bumping it all the way up to 8.5. I think that makes a lot of sense. So as long as we can stay under the total, I think that's a really nice payday for a pretty simple SGP, just a 4-legger, just a simple 4-legger there for you. If you want to jump into the pool on Braelon Allen, you could plus 310 for an anytime touchdown, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. That could be one that's pretty juicy. Again, same thing where it might not be my favorite touchdown bet, but I just like the number, the same way that we were talking about Aaron Judge just a minute ago. Speaking of Mr. Judge, let's go to his roster mate in Juan Soto, shall we? So Alex Cobb is going to be on the bump for the Cleveland Guardians, and I do understand that things are a little bit different in the postseason than they are in the regular season. But folks, Juan Soto is 7 for 11 lifetime against Cobb. For you non-math majors, that's a 636 average with a 1273 slugging percentage.
Yeah, pretty damn good.
That's pretty damn good. So I think I'm going to ladder Mr. Soto this evening. So 2 or more total bases you can get at DK right now at plus 145. 3 or more, 255. 4 or more, 330. So you can play them individually, or if you want to go for him for a home run. Okay, again, his slugging percentage against Cobb is 1273. For a home run, he's plus 400. So I'm just throwing that out there when it comes to Soto. There's some pretty nice numbers there for Juan Soto. I'll have more from a hockey standpoint, but folks, there is afternoon hockey today for Columbus/Indigenous Peoples Day. And so there are 3 games being played at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time today. Isn't that weird?
Very bizarre.
It's like what the NBA does on MLK
Well,
Day.
wasn't it Thanksgiving in Canada yesterday?
Maybe I don't.
Yeah, I think that's why there's
America's hat has weird holidays, Brad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was.
They celebrate like how you doing, eh? Day. I mean, like do they have like a Bob and Doug McKenzie Day? Because if not, they should.
But they have a Molson Ice Day.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that stuff got me through college, Brad. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, one of the afternoon contests that we're going to jump on, the Boston Bruins at home against the Florida Panthers. Yes, I will take Boston on the money line, and I'm going to pair that up with one of the night games tonight, the Rangers taking on the Red Wings. Give me New York at home. So the Rangers and the Bruins, you put that together, plus 151. Just straight money line, nothing fancy about that one. But in those matchups right now, the advantage that you've got, I know some of you are thinking like Boston against Florida and everything that Florida did last year, but Matthew Tkachuk and Alexander Barkov are out for Florida. And because of that, they just lost to Buffalo. And now you got to go take on a Boston team that, frankly, Boston's better than Buffalo, and they're still going to be playing without those 2 guys. So when you've got 2 of your best guys out, I will go the opposite way. Plus, Boston, over the last few seasons, nearly unstoppable at home. So put all that together, and I love the Bruins. Then in the matchup between the Red Wings and the Rangers, this is all about the Rangers being at home. And Igor Shesterkin, who is the best goaltender in the entire NHL, is coming off of a really shitty performance, y'all. And I just don't think that guy's going to let that happen 2 games in a row. So I kind of like the Rangers to bounce back after what happened in the last contest and turn around and take care of business against Detroit. So again, the Bruins and the Rangers, 2-leg money line in the NHL, plus 151 over at DK. Yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
All right, let's go to the Team Huevos Parlay play of the day here on this Monday Night Football. We're going to keep this super, super simple, and there's not a player prop, and I must be sickly if I'm not, throwing a leg on like Josh Allen rush yards or pass yards or something. But no, I refuse because I love this at a plus 140 juice. Again, simple 2-legger, Buffalo plus 7.5 in the alt line, the Jets plus 3.5. So again, I don't give 2 shits about who wins this game. Just don't win it by more than a field goal. All right. Because you look at the Jets there at plus 3.5. That's what that essentially means. We're living very much in the middle, playing both sides of the ledger. I do this from time to time on games with ultra tight spreads, usually -3 or lower. And the standard spread in this game is -1. So I think it's going to come down to a field goal boot in the end, which ultimately means that the Jets are going to win this thing like 30-0. But regardless, I like this. It sounds right to me because you look at the New York Jets have been outstanding in EPA per play defense of the year at number 5. The Bills are number 9 in that category. The advantage the Bills have is clearly on offense. But again, they got a lot of question marks about some of the healthy guys that are key players. And I'm looking at like Khalil Shakir, especially on this offensive unit. And again, the Jets have really tightened up in the trenches. So if you mitigate or at least limit James Cook on the ground, I think it's, going to have positive ripple effects for them here in the end. And I do believe the wholesale changes at the coaching ranks for the New York Jets are going to benefit this team. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to have one of his better performances of the season. You can beat this team, as I already said, between the hash marks and the intermediate field. Can beat him very much on the ground. And you got that dynamic duo, Breece Hall and Braelon Allen. So, wouldn't at all shock me if the Jets won this thing. And they may win by a touchdown and the extra point. And that's it. So there's the 7.5 for the Buffalo Bills at plus 7.5. So to recap, the Team Huevos parlay play of the day, living in the middle, Buffalo plus 7.5, Jets plus 3.5, plus 140 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Elsewhere, bonus time. Lundy, I think Breece Hall is going to have more rushing yards than James Cook. And you can grab this prop right now at BetMGM. I grabbed it yesterday at plus 105. I woke up this morning, checked the juice. It's now minus 110 for Breece Hall to do that. Still some value there, but of course, a lot of it's gotten squeezed out. But I do believe Hall's going to outproduce Cook. As I mentioned, the Bills just cannot body people up and wrap dudes up in the trenches. That's the bottom line. You got a Jets offensive line, top 10. They can really move men around. You look at Hall. I know he's underwhelmed this season, but this seems like a breakout game. And the Jets are only giving up 96 rush yards a game, the opposition. And that's just the running back position. Meanwhile, Buffalo giving up nearly 110 rush yards a game. And I already mentioned the EPA rankings. The Jets number 13 rush EPA, but that's skewed because of the week 1 performance by Jordan Mason. They've been a hell of a lot better since. And the Bills, they've just been bad all year at number 22 in rush EPA defense. You have defense. You have
I just want to give you a different way to play it, Brad. If you want to keep yourself with a better payday now,
give it to me.
Okay, so right now at DK, Breece Hall to have the most rushing yards in the game is plus 135.
Okay.
And Josh Cook is plus 110.
James Cook,
excuse me, not Josh.
Can we morph? Can we make a hybrid of Josh Allen and James Cook? Because that would be awesome.
That would be nice. Josh Cook is also a guy that I went to elementary school with. But so if you have this belief that Breece is going to finish with more yards, you're right. You can go play that head to head, but you can also go to the most rush yards tab. And this was over at DK, and it's plus 135. So there's another way that you can play it, as long as you don't believe that, Josh Allen or Braelon Allen or, somebody else is going to wind up with the most rushing yards. So if you think he's going to beat Cook, go play it that way.
Yeah, the other way you could play this too, honestly, is doing a race to at a higher number.
Yes.
You could do it because they do it in increments of 20. So you can go race to 20. Race to 40. Honestly, I would go race to 60. Lundy, do you have that in front of you by chance?
Give me 1 second. Actually, no. Right now at DK, they only have 20 and 40. They do not have anything any further.
Although they're cowards if they don't have a 60. BetMGM did not have race twos this morning when I checked it.
Yeah.
But if they do a race to 60, take Braelon Allen, or not Braelon Allen, Breece Hall there. Yeah. And I think that is going to get low plus money. Compared to James Cook. What's 40? Just out of curiosity.
Plus 145.
For Breece Hall.
Yes.
And what's James Cook?
Cook is sitting at 125, I believe.
Yeah, see, I would take Breece Hall there all diggity day long. I mean, there's an outside chance it could be Josh Allen, and also an outside chance it could be Braelon Allen. The Allens could maybe get that done, but chances are they're going to happen later in the game, just a sheer volume. So if you want to go with a calculated route, the sensible and logical route, take Breece Hall, race to 40, because it's probably going to be him or James Cook, one or the other. And you're getting that right now at significant plus odds. That's a play. It's probably a hell of a lot better in the race to 20, and I should have gone 40, but I didn't. But you know what that means? I'm firing off another ticket.
Oh, no, the race to 20, Cook is 165, Hall is 170.
Yeah, and then now from 175, but yeah.
Right, and then the 40 is 130 and 145.
Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to get in on probably the race to 40 as well, where Breece Hall. So
just keeping an eye on all of that here.
I don't have anything else. I don't have WNBA plays. I have no MLB plays. I got nothing else in Bills and Jets. So that's a wrap on the Fade 5 podcast today. Do us a favor, drop us a rating and a review at your convenience. Fade or follow us on the X. Lundy, always giving it to you there at Nate Lundy. I'm doing the same at Noisy Huevos. Go to the gamingjuice.com right now, you jackals. Sign up for a free account. The Ask Brad form is already open for business for NFL Week 7, along with those positional ranks. The Fantasy Flames at quarterback, I think, is going to be posted either today or tomorrow. by my EIC, Joe Laga. We got the NBA content. We just got so much gaming content. It's free. It's entertaining. They're good reads. Trust me. It's unlike anything else you'll see there in the industry. For the outstanding and lovely and handsome, so handsome and probably disgruntled based on what went down yesterday at Mile High, Nathaniel Lundy, I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.